Okay, Dylan, you're up. So let's go ahead and take a look. I thought I had your, oh, here it is, right here. I just want to address your writing first, okay, and then we will go ahead and take a look at your work. Okay, so tricky assignment indeed, absolutely. Taking information that is magazine and reducing them to fit. Yep, absolutely. You're going to find that most students comment on that, the difficulty or the kind of interesting situation confronted when having to kind of adapt something in a large picture plane to something in a small picture plane. It's a little tricky, but you got to admit you probably got the hang of it quickly. I think you would show good proficiency if you were tasked with that chore. Again, my intentions were to focus on a couple of slides, more in the sunset as well. However, my plan. This did not go as planned. Once I transformed my image because it was too big on its head, I chose a couple as it had the main focus. But I also wanted to keep the ad clean and simple, which this is actually working against you a little bit. I kind of have a feeling exactly where you're going with this, and I want to comment on that. I chose to use a couple as main focus. Able to obtain that by not including body paragraphs. Okay, that's where I disagree. I also wanted to keep the ad clean and simple with yeah, I think you overdid it a little bit. I will comment on that, but I think it's really interesting that you picked up on that as well as in terms of to the point of adding it as a comment. So the most difficult aspect was placing my mask image because it would support overall relaxation into an ad does not have a certain part of it. I get that. I get that. Now, keep in mind, placement of the masked image is required. If when the class is over and you're preparing and doing your final edits to possibly include this in your student portfolio, feel free to remove the masked image if you feel it doesn't fit or add to the composition, or feel free to change it as well to something more suitable. Does not Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so the magazine ad, first of all, I think the magazine ad it's great. It really is. It's fantastic. I don't think there's really much I would change. I do recommend a couple of things in the magazine ad, though. Um, let's go ahead and reconfigure that contact information. And if you take a look at the course announcement, there you'll get a bunch of different ideas of how you can do that. You can even span it right across the top if you want to. But I think right there it's a little cumbersome over here. Plus, I'd like to use that area right there for that beautiful logo. I think that'll reinforce the branding of the client simply because that is an exit strategy. Most viewers you'll see will exit in that portion of the ad. So let's go ahead and reinforce branding in that regard. And then we can take this and this contact information. And as I said, you can span it across the top or you can even place it over here, but you want to reconfigure that. Other than that, I think we're just looking beautiful here. Just beautiful. Nice work. Okay, let's go to the banner ad. Now, and the banner ad, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about. Right now, the banner, we take a look at the magazine ad, and it's beautifully. I mean, everything is just timed. The cadence is beautiful. It's wonderful. Negative space is gorgeous. We come over to the banner ad, and it's really stark. I mean, there's just not much here. It's almost uncomfortably minimal. And I think there's a couple of things that we can do definitely to introduce a little bit more visual engagement. My recommendation is this. I don't know if I would keep these folks dead center. You're going to probably have a lot of area to crop when you set your crop tool to the correct dimensions for the magazine ad, but I would move them. I would probably move them right over here. Think of your rule of thirds, okay? So we move them over here, and then what you can do is and I'm not that's not required. You don't have to. If you're comfortable with them where they're at, that's great. But what I'm getting at is this is let's go ahead and say rekindle your spark. So we can do this. We can move them over here, okay? Place them right here and keep rekindle your spark right there. Okay. So we have rekindle your spark, then a couple. And then over here, you can say, just add a little bit of information about Amethyst Bay. Of course, you're not going to be adding all of that, but somehow make a segue between rekindle your spark and buy one, get one. So we have rekindle your spark, the image right here. Then over here, just like a little paragraph, okay? Then animate the buy one, get one couples massage. You could even say something about massage in the body copy. So that's a good segue to introduce the promotion, okay? So again, okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to remove that St. Thomas VI right there. We're going to take that logo and place it right down here. Then you can play that can go right located in beautiful St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And then of course the masked image, as you said, you're not satisfied with it, and that's perfectly suitable for you to, if you would like to, um, remove it. But it is required for the final submission here, so keep that in mind. Okay, so those are my recommendations. I really, really think they're going to add a lot of harmony to the campaign. So think about that. If you want to make those changes, go right ahead, and I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission, which is coming up in week 7. But if you want to run anything by me between now and the time you resubmit, I'll be glad to make additional comments. Okay. As I said, it's really a fantastic start. Nice work. Be proud. You've done outstanding work here. Okay, at this point, of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any clarifications, anything I can clarify in the comments I've made in the last 5.5, 6 minutes, please let me know. I'll be glad to do so. All right, great job, Dylan. Thank you.